the story of my life. Ta-da! I'm from Turkmenistan. I went to a Turkish school and I graduated when I was 16, I think. Last year of my high school, so senior of my high school, I applied for a Petronas program. Petronas is a Malaysian oil and gas company that works in Turkmenistan, and part of its deal with the government is that the company sends about 50 students each year to Malaysia. So when I graduated from high school back in 2013, I got admitted to this program, Malaysian Petronas program, which provided me with full tuition and full boarding and all that, you know, usual stuff that the companies provide for scholarships. Come August, I am approached by a few employees of the Ministry of Education who informed me that I'm not going. We don't necessarily know why, because there's no official reasoning that was provided, but what I suspect and what is sort of the usual given is that me and my family didn't bribe the people who were sort of responsible for choosing who gets to go. Basically it meant that I didn't give money to the person who was supposed to approve my documents, and that's why my documents didn't get approved, and that's why I didn't get to go. Sky color shoes. Мне вот этот денег нет? Вот этот
It looks very expensive.
Вот. Так, о чем мы? Об этом Петронасе. So, the way I know that I didn't pay the bribe to Turkmen officials is because whenever you get accepted to Petronas program, sort of you apply, you pass the test, and then Petronas company sends the documents of the people that they want to accept their program to the Ministry of Education of Turkmenistan, and then Ministry of Education of Turkmenistan approves or disapproves people on the list. They don't do any of the tests. They don't really know who is who and how well people did. They just look at the documents you have, maybe at some connections, maybe if you paid bribes or not, and decide whether you're going or not. And a lot of times this is really comes down to whether you paid the money or not. Yeah, that's the story of Malaysia. That's the story of corruption, of having no real education and no real opportunities to do anything. To Russia, it's very easy to get a visa. You just sort of apply and wait in line and pay for your documentations and everything, and you get it. The average salary, the average monthly paycheck of a Turkmen is like $200, while tickets to Moscow there and back would cost you like 300 or something. So you can't really afford to go to Moscow unless you have a side business or another way of making money. You can go there for however long you want, but moving to Russia, getting work authorization or getting living permits, that is a different issue. Usually that is easy to receive if you are an ethnic Russian. So there were two waves of major moves of ethnic Russians from Turkmenistan to Russia. One was immediately after the collapse, and the second one was in early 2000s when Niyazov, what did he do? He said we don't need Russia, Russians are bad and all that crap, you know. Regular nationalism and blaming others for your own problems. And that's when the majority of the Russians, that's when pretty much every single Russian that was still living in Turkmenistan and could afford to leave, that had some sort of connections back in Russia, left. The only current ethnic Russians in Turkmenistan are either old or didn't have the resources to move to a different country. My dad met Peace Corps volunteers when he was teaching English in secondary school, and that's how sort of my family and I got introduced to the U.S., to what U.S. is, what kind of opportunities there are here, and all that stuff. And ever since, my dad has been very active in sort of American community in Turkmenistan. He used to go to American centers, and in 2007, I believe, he came to US for teacher's education program. I think it was for like 2 months. And when he came back to Turkmenistan, he got a better job working for a US nonprofit. And after that, he moved to USAID and then moved to US Embassy. And that's sort of how me and my family and my brother were always exposed to American culture and American diaspora in Turkmenistan. And because of that, I always sort of wanted to come here. Originally, I didn't get a scholarship to US, so I was planning to go to Malaysia. But things had a way of working out. And I was lucky because my parents are educated and they had very good jobs that they could afford to pay for my SATs and TOEFLs and college application fees and everything.